This is Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Showers developing this afternoon with the 3 o'clock news. I'm Michaela Kamarek. There's been a spike in the number of people in hospital with COVID in SA. 284 people are now receiving treatment, with 9 in ICU. Another 3,300 cases have been reported in the past 24 hours and 1 death. Meanwhile, passengers and crew on board a cruise ship docked in Brisbane have gone into isolation following a COVID outbreak. Marty Bunyard reports.
Authorities are managing the outbreak on the Coral Princess, which Health Minister Yvette Darth says was to be expected, with cruising returning only a few months ago.
There were protocols put in place.
There are, however, more concerns about the rising number of hospitalisations, putting more pressure on the health system. But in a boost to protection, those over 30 can now come forward for a second booster shot. Dr Maria Bolton from the Australian Medical Association says vaccination is key.
It does help to have that extra booster on board.
A man has been arrested following a pursuit through Prospect. Police spotted a silver BMW being driven erratically on Fitzroy Terrace at around 11:30 this morning. Patrols attempted to stop the vehicle, but it took off and was located again on Harrison Road at Renown Park. The driver fled on foot but was stopped by a member of the public till patrols arrived. A search of the BMW located a replica firearm, 2 knives, a samurai sword and a hatchet. The 46-year-old man from Toorak Gardens has been charged with a range of offences, including driving in a dangerous manner, driving unlicensed and possessing a firearm. He'll face court tomorrow. The Prime Minister says his government won't bow to China's demands. Beijing has outlined 4 requirements Australia must meet in order to get the relationship back on track. Among them is the need to treat China as a partner rather than a rival. Anthony Albanese says he'll do what's in the national interest.
Australia doesn't respond to demands, we respond to our own national interest. I'll say this, we will cooperate with China where we can. I want to build good relations with all countries.
Lifting productivity is the aim of a Jobs and Skills Summit to be hosted by the federal government. The 2-day event will take place in Canberra on the 1st and 2nd of September. It will bring together at least 100 key businesses and leaders to the table. Treasurer Jim Chalmers says the summit has been deliberately designed to come up with ideas before the October budget.
This will be a terrific opportunity to show that the Australian community is as practical and pragmatic and inclusive and collaborative that the government that they've just elected to serve them is as well.
Adding extra salt to our meals could increase our risk of dying early. A UK study of more than 500,000 people found those who always added salt at the table had a 28% higher chance of a premature death. Dietitians Australia's spokesperson Felicity Curtin says there could be ways of mitigating the effects.
What the research has also found is that those who ate the highest amount of fruit and veggies didn't have such a significant result. So it could suggest that eating more of those really important plant foods are protective against some of the riskier parts of eating salt.
Now turning to 5AA sport, it's a big payday for Aussie tennis player Nick Kyrgios. Even though he was beaten by Novak Djokovic in the Wimbledon final, he'll still collect just over £1 million or 1.8 million Australian dollars for making it to the decider. Kyrgios says he thought he played well, but Djokovic was better.
Hats off to him. That was a hell of a match. I thought I served well and I put myself in a position to win, but I just wasn't able to play those clutch points, well at all today.
Sri Lanka is back at the crease on day 4 of the second men's test in Galle. The home side is 6 for 473, leading Australia by 109 runs in the first innings. And 2 postage stamps have been released to commemorate 100 years of the Socceroos. Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Pasadena, look out for emergency waterworks, 5 Ash Drive near Aylifts Road. Down to what line is you heading outbound there? Darlington, we've got a collision on South Road at Marion Road. Crews are on site, taxing care if you're heading that way. Bridgewater, we've got a broken down truck this afternoon. That's on the freeway near the Stirling exit. And we're starting to get busy Marion Road at Crossroad. Cameras, Edward Street, Melrose Park and Stonehouse Avenue at Camden Park. Want a Netflix subscription included in your internet plan? Get more choice when you switch to Optus Home Internet, the home of better internet. It's starts with yes. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast. Showers developing this afternoon. Showers tomorrow 14. Wednesday partly cloudy 15 and Thursday partly cloudy 15. Right now it's 11 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
In 9 News, police alarm over a surge in school holiday drink and drug driving. The new warning about salt, how just a sprinkle can shave years off your life. A house being swallowed by a sinkhole. See the stunning pictures. And lose 20 kilos in 4 months, no surgery and no diet. I'm Kate Collins. See the full story on 9 News Tonight at 6.
$13.95. Adelaide's 5AA. This is Leaf Forest.
It is 6 minutes after 3. Great to have your company on this Monday afternoon. Stephen Rose returning from his week holiday. He'll be here after 4 to talk all things sport. Lots of sport to talk about with the Crows, Port Adelaide, and also Nick Kyrgios. This is my last week sitting in for Jade, so I will take it as a personal offence if we don't get heaps of calls for my next guest, because it's always great to have him here from the Norwood Parade Vet Clinic. Dr. Derek's here.
Pet Talk Back with Dr. Derek McNair.
Lovely to see you as always. You're on the live stream so people can see that you're having issues with your headphones as we speak. This is the beauty of being on the live stream. All the little things that normally would be smoke and mirrors, people wouldn't see.
Yes, well, it could be me. I could need to go and get a hearing check, but I'm not getting anything.
Now the beauty is you're going to get the real behind the scenes, because Tammy Thorpe's about to walk in. She hates the cameras, so this will be fun. She's probably going to throw it from the door. All right. Brooklyn, if you can put it onto me for 1 second, as much as I hate that, that will allow Tammy to come in and speak to Dr. Derek. How are you? How was the weekend?
Very good. I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, the weekend was good. It was pretty non-eventful, which is quite nice.
We were having a conversation off air just about how cold it's been. And obviously you come from an area that's quite often cold, and you probably came to Australia for the warmth. Not so this week. It's been fresh.
It has been. I think my blood must have thinned. I need to go for a test to see how I'm going, because you would think I would be used to this. And I was just thinking, I was just talking to Tammy before I came in, and she said you'd be used to this. I said, oh, well, yes, but it's part of the reason I came. I remember my first job was near Aberdeen, and anyone who's been in Scotland near Aberdeen knows that it's one of the coldest places, I think, on earth. And I remember the first job I had was in mixed practice. So I was calving a cow in the middle of a field at 3 a.m, lying in the snow. And I did. I sort of thought, oh, there should be more to life than this, I think.
This is why I'm going to come to Australia and Adelaide for that. I know I've had a similar situation where I went to school in America for a brief period in Nebraska, which is one of the coldest states. And I literally remember walking from the car in the car park into the school, never feeling that cold ever. Like it was just horrendously cold. And yet you can have some days here in Adelaide where, you know, we're standing around and we're watching footy, or the girls are playing netball, and I'm just thinking, what's going on here? And then you hear it's like 6 degrees. It's like, I don't know. Maybe it's age.
And it still doesn't have the minus before it either. No, I mean, we always used to have to put a blanket over our car engine overnight, otherwise it wouldn't start in the morning.
I remember as a kid down in the southeast, like Mum constantly getting the kettle and defrosting our windscreen.
Yes.
Because it was always frozen over. I've not seen that for a long time, but I literally had it on the weekend there. Again, not great for radio and probably for the live stream. That's my windscreen from the weekend.
It's very frozen.
As soon as I turned the windscreen wiper, it slid across the windscreen, heated it up, warmed off, and then
we always used to, in the old days as well, we used to have to put a key in the lock. We always used to have to put cloths over the locks because they would freeze as well.
Yeah.
And used to get keys that would warm up. So you could
Mum had like
to defrost it.
Mum had like a spatula that she would sort of chip away the ice on the windscreen. Yeah, anyway, they must have changed over time. All right, Dr. Derek is here. We want to take your pet questions, anything that's on your mind, 8223 0000. Rick from Angervale is going to kick us off. Hey, Rick.
G'day, guys. Dr. Derek, I've got a little Maltese Shih Tzu that I'm taking. He's a few years old now, about 7 years old.
Yes.
I'm taking him in. My wife's taking him into the vet tomorrow for his injections. What is there like a package apart from all the bits, is there some like you can get for ticks, some for the whooping cough, the heartworm, this? Can you get it like as a package where they do one injection and it does the whole lot?
Not an injection. You're sort of talking about 2 or 3 different things here. The vaccination, the normal one we do is, if you get the whole shebang, it's distemper, hepatitis, parvo, and 2 types of kennel cough.
Right.
So that's normally called a C5, and so that's one injection. Then heartworm is a different thing. There is a yearly heartworm injection, but the injection only does heartworm. It doesn't do anything else. So, and then if you're talking about ticks, ticks are not a huge problem in Adelaide. We do have ticks, but we don't have the paralysis tick. And at the moment, the ticks we have don't carry some nasty diseases that they do up north as well. So ticks are not a huge worry at the moment. Fleas and stuff like that, you can get tablets, or you can get spot-on preparations that you squeeze a little bit of liquid onto the back of their neck. And some of those will do fleas, they will do worms as well, tummy worms, and they will do heartworm as well. And you can get a complete range of ones that don't do heartworm, do heartworm, do most of the worms, do all the worms. It can be sort of quite confusing, and you probably want to have a chat with your vet about what you want to target and what is an issue in your area. But as I say, ticks for me are not a huge problem. They're only a nuisance. If you live up in the hills, your dog might get the brown tick, but it only causes local irritation. It won't cause any major disease problems. So, but the other things you've mentioned can be nasty. So it's up to you whether you do a monthly tablet or spot on or the yearly injection for heartworm. But as I say, the vaccinations are sort of slightly different to that.
So you're obviously definitely the C5.
Yes.
So would you recommend either the heartworm injection or would just the tablet once every month or whatever?
Doesn't matter. They both
Doesn't
work.
matter?
No, they both work just as well.
Lovely.
The monthly tablets, you can get tablets that will do all the tummy worms as well. Right. And you can also get ones that will do the heartworm, all the tummy worms, and flea prevention as well. So, as I say, it depends, Rick, sort of how many different things you want to cover.
Yeah.
And as I say, the downside of the heartworm injection is that it only does heartworm. But the upside of it is once you've given it, you know they're protected for over a year. And then you can just, and I shouldn't say this, my dogs and cats, I've never given them stuff for fleas, because I sort of figure if they get fleas, I'll get rid of them. And I've been very lucky. To my knowledge, they've never ever had fleas. So I just tend to concentrate on the worms and the heartworm and the vaccinations.
Beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Derek. That answers. I'll let my wife know that. Thank you again.
Good man, Rick.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you for that. So we had the issue with our dog, which I spoke to you about. I'm not sure if you remember the particular case with our golden retriever. He had an injection. I want to say heartworm, maybe it wasn't, but he had fits. He had seizures from it. And then instead of going orally, we went to the skin.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Is that common?
No. No. I don't know whether it's reassuring for you or not, but it's...
Has not had one since, by the way.
Right, that's good.
So had the 2 seizures about 2 or 3, 4 days aside from each other after the initial, and then has not had one since. Once we stopped that, because we spoke, I think, and you said that can be the cause of it from time to time, so we have never done that again, and it's been fine. It's
extremely unusual, and... I think from memory, your dog's the only dog I've ever come across that it might have happened, and we do it. We use it every day, so obviously if it was a regular occurrence, we would stop using it. So, but any dog, just like any person, can get individual reactions to different medications. So, and I think it wasn't sort of proven that that's what was causing it, but the problem is, the only way to test it is to give it again and see if you get the same outcome, and that's a bit risky.
Yeah.
So it's changing onto a different type of medication is always a safer way to go.
Because it's kind of distressing, dog seizures. They're not great at all.
Terrible.
We're going to take a short break. More of your calls and questions for Dr. Derek, 8223 0000. If you have a question, he's here from the Norwood Parade Vet Clinic. Go to it.
In tough times, it's the simple things that make a big difference. Like $15 schnitzel days at the Albion, Birkenhead Tavern and the Excelsior. We know the humble schnitty can't fix all our problems, but we do know it'll put a smile on your dial. $15 schnitty. Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays at the Albion, the Birkenhead Tavern and the Excelsior. Trying to make the world a better place, one schnitty at a time. Got to start somewhere. You just know it's a Barrow Hotel.
If it takes the local footy team to help move that dragging, scraping, sliding door of yours,
put your back into it, fellas.
Call Rollerco instead. Rollerco have the parts you need to make it slide again with just one finger. And in most cases, have those parts delivered to your door within 24 hours. Rollerco.com.au. They'll get you rolling.
Right, everyone out.
Rollerco.com.au.
Well, as Dr. Derek tells you, our pets are such a comfort. Some of us, they are part of the family. So to show that you care, you can head into your local Cheapest Chips for amazing catalogue deals this Wednesday. Keep them warm with cuddles all winter. Return the favour with a Marvin Mega Dog Bed. It's just $69, or a quilted Oxford pet jacket.
Jeez.
You're partial to a pet jacket.
I do. I've got quite a wardrobe at home.
They are water resistant. They're $22 and they're perfect for those winter walks. If you call into your nearest Cheapest Chips, grab yourself a bird cage. You can get one on a stand for your feathered friends. They're $199, saving $50. And there's lots of great deals on accessories and toys too. The Mega Cat Scratcher, $59. Just keep your cat amused for hours. Assorted bird toys in there too from $7 each. Get into your local Cheapest Chips. Amazing catalogue deals. They're out this Wednesday. And remember, even pets live cheaper every day at Cheapest Chips.
Hi, honey.
Hey, Mum. I'm just waiting at the emergency department.
Are you okay? What happened?
I twisted my ankle at training.
And you're at the ED?
Where else would I go?
Try icing it, love. Or I could take you to the GP or a pharmacy.
That's gone all over you. Let me wipe it up.
All good. Yeah. Mum, come and get me.
Is it really an emergency? Before visiting an emergency department or calling 000, call Health Direct on 1800 022 222 to find the best healthcare option for you. A message from the Government of South Australia.
Are you struggling to get a good night's sleep? Do you lie awake worrying? Do you wake up exhausted? Caruso's Mind Ease to the rescue. Caruso's Mind Ease is a one-a-day capsule with lavender oil that relieves symptoms of mild anxiety, reduces restlessness and excess nervous energy, and supports deep, refreshing sleep in adults. So if you'd like to worry less and sleep more, try Caruso's Mind Ease today. Available from leading pharmacies and health stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
Celebrate bush foods, sustainable farming and living at the Kwandong Festival. Free cooking demos, gardening workshops and live music. Head north to Kwon in the Flinders Ranges and enjoy the Kwandong Festival, August 5 to 7.
Leith Forest on 1395, Adelaide's FIVEAA.
19 minutes after 3, forget about me. Dr. Derek McNair is here from the Parade Norwood Vet Clinic, answering your pet questions. 8223 0000. Ben's at Seaford Meadows. Hey, Ben.
Hey, Leith, how you going?
Very well. You got a question for
Dr. Derek?
Hello.
Yep, I sure do. So we've got two Cavalier King Charles Spaniels,
Yes.
5 and 9, and they like to mount each other. So when they're sort of like excited, or it could be for dominance reasons, and one's even got a bit of a bad bat because of it. I'm just wondering what your best recommendation is to sort of like fixing that sort of behaviour.
So they're both male.
Male and female.
Male and female, and they're both mounting each other, are they?
Yeah. One more than the other, but yeah.
Is the male mounting the female more than the female's mounting the male?
No, it's probably pretty even.
Yeah. Pretty even. And they've both been desexed?
Yes.
Okay. You could try, there's two things you could do. One is just live with it. I mean, how extreme is it? Is it happening every day, frequently?
Yeah, it happens every day on and off. It can vary, but depending on sort of what's happening. But we'll say it's extremely frequently, but a few times a day sort of thing, yeah.
Okay. I mean, it can happen, even though they're desexed, it can still happen because of hormones, or it can just happen as a bit of a playful thing, but often there's underlying dominance involved as well. So a little bit of the problem is if they're both sort of mounting each other. If one was doing it more than the other, I'd probably suggest giving them what's called a supralorin implant, which is an anti-testosterone implant. And desexed male and female dogs both still produce a low level of testosterone. Girls produce testosterone as well as boys, and that can be the hormone that sort of influences the mounting behaviour. So the supralorin implant takes the level of testosterone down to 0, and so if the behaviour is due to a little bit of dominance, a little bit of the hierarchical struggle, then that should help to take away that factor. I guess the problem is if they're both doing it, then you'd have to give it to both of them, which, you know, it's fine. It's a very, very safe thing. There's one implant that lasts for 6 months, there's one that lasts for 12 months. They're not super cheap. The 6 months one, I think, is about $180, $190 from memory, something like that. But they're very, very safe. And I guess the only other thing you could sort of try and do is train them and reward them when they're not jumping.
So in terms of telling them off, like, do you yell at them and tell them to stop, or you sort of just push them away, or?
Well, you can do. You're better probably just separating them. I'm not a big fan of yelling at dogs and telling them off, because they're sort of not, in their own minds, they're not doing anything wrong. So maybe if you're there just taking one and putting them outside, and they might view that as a bit of a punishment, but they often won't put 2 and 2 together, especially if they've been doing it for such a long time. Then they'll be thinking, oh yeah, it's normal behaviour for them. So you could try that, Ben. You could try putting one outside, the one who's doing the mounting, put them outside, and they might think, you have to do it right away. As soon as they mount, you've got to go grab them. If you want to, you could go, a bit of a growl might be okay, but you don't want to upset them too much. Then put that one outside and see how that goes. Keep a diary of how often it happens, a diary of who's mounting who.
A hump diary, Ben.
And just to see if there's do they have any fights, or are they quite happy together?
No, they're quite happy together. No, they're very happy together. They sit together and everything.
I mean,
it's just one of those things, I think.
Yes, Cavaliers are so beautiful. Yeah. I mean, it might be that you could try one of the implants for maybe the one who may be doing it more often and see if that works. But I think we'll try the behaviour stuff. That sounds like good, and sort of separating and just pushing aside and go from there. And obviously that's a backup if we need it. So thanks for that. Yes, no, and I guess there is just an issue. If one of them has a bad back, then that's.
Sometimes it's just
there's medication
dogs.
For that as well. And usually it is. Usually it's playful. If they haven't growled and bitten each other, it's probably just a playful, happy thing.
Yeah.
One of my dogs I used to have, they were husband and wife, and one of my dogs used to go in the back of the other dog, and the other dog used to walk around, and I just used to see it was like a shopping trolley.
Wow.
Because one used to walk around, the other used to be behind it. It was like pushing a shopping trolley. But, that wasn't a dominance thing. They just liked doing it.
Yeah, that's right. Dogs are odd like that. Our dog doesn't have any other dog to do it. His bed occasionally looks nervous, but again, it's not and I've even seen sort of, again, family show, you've seen sometimes dogs air hump. There's nothing. They just hump air.
Yeah.
So maybe they're just odd, Ben. I don't know how you train that out, but good luck with that. Ted's at the Bay. Got a question about his dog. Hey, Ted.
Yeah, how you going? I just inquiring, what's the go with dogs and the temperature outside? Do they, I've got a German Shepherd, and I like sitting it on the side of the pool with its feet in the pool in the middle of winter.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that,
how old is your dog, Ted?
It's about 4 years old, 4 to 5 years old.
Okay. Yeah, it's often very strange. A lot of I hear, and again, I should have kept a diary of this. People who say they buy this really lovely kennel for their dog, and it's got a doona in it, and it's got this and that, and cable television probably, and they choose to lie outside, and they choose to lie on the concrete and stuff. And some dogs do like that. Older dogs, if they have arthritis, often like to put their legs in the pool or lie on cement because that actually tends to cool down their joints. But if your German Shepherd's only 4, then hopefully they don't have any arthritis or anything like that, and they just enjoy it. You know, I mean, Leith was saying dogs are odd, and yes, some of them are a bit odd, and I can't work it out. I mean, my dog's quite small, and she's quite spoiled, shall we say, and she likes being inside, but smaller dogs feel the cold more than larger dogs. So larger dogs with a thick coat, as most German Shepherds have, don't feel the cold that much. Why they're dipping their paws in the pool? Not quite sure, but we'll just say it's just a dog thing.
No worries.
Okay.
Thank you, Ted.
Thanks, Ted.
Yeah, it's hard to answer that, isn't it? And that's strange because you spend so much money on these beds and you get them, the latest and the greatest, and then all of a sudden they want to lie on the floor next to you.
Yes.
Or I've noticed that and I've actually started to do it just because he likes it. So if I I just throw clothes on the ground, he'll sleep on my clothes.
Yes.
Assuming that it's the smell, I guess, and then chuck him in the wash the next day and away you go. But it's weird, and he's got a perfectly good bed there that we bought and spent good money on, and it's like, I'll sleep over here.
Yeah, lots of dogs and cats, to be honest, like sleeping on their owner's clothes because they like that reassurance. And as you say, the smell, the scent, they think this is nice. It's like they're sitting in your lap, sort of thing. So, yep.
The only problem
that's a behaviour we can explain.
True.
The pause in the pool isn't always one we can explain.
The only drama with that is that if you're like me and you only like navy blue or black, that everything's covered in golden retriever fur. This one from Marie: is the generic brand of Pal good enough for my dog? Pal meaty bites are becoming too expensive.
How you
can answer this one?
Well, I can't because I don't want a letter from the PAL lawyers. But different pet foods have different standards of quality. And so it's a little bit trial and error. Generally, the more you pay, the better you get. But you can sort of try anything. If it's a generic brand, certainly you can try it. Swap over slowly. You're meant to take about a week to swap from one type of food to another, so you have 2 or 3 days with a quarter of the new stuff and 3/4 of the old, and then another 2 or 3 days of half and half, and obviously just continue to gradually move over. So give it a go. Give it a go, because I'm not saying cheaper stuff is always worse, and if you try it and you don't get any tummy upsets and your dog's coat looks just as fine, it's just as energetic, then why not?
Your dog will let you know. And final one on the text message: got some labs, Dr. Derek, and they're digging. How do I stop them? They are walked regularly.
It's still usually boredom. It's still usually boredom. I mean, walked regularly, we need to have more information. Some Labradors need about an hour at least off lead. So walking is sometimes not good enough for them. So you need to get, there's various things like what's called snuffle mats, so you can put food in. You can get lots of little different toys, and especially with food, you cannot feed them food at mealtime. You can always just feed them in treats, which will occupy them for a while. So, and the other thing, and my dog did it, she started digging in the back garden, and I'd read that sometimes it's because you've got lawn beetles. And we did. She dug this hole and there was this lawn beetle. So that was an indication of that. But usually, most dogs, it's actually boredom. You can get one of those plastic clam shells and actually teach them to dig in that. Get lots of toys from Cheapest Chips and put them in the clam shell. Put bones in there, so actually train them. If they dig in there, they get a reward.
Good idea. Our dog just loves to dig for rocks. You'll just find another one, then the rock, and then brings the rock inside. And it's ongoing. Always lovely to see you. Thank you for coming in and answering those questions.
Sorry, last week someone was asking about cytopoint and injection.
Yes.
Very, very, very few reactions to it. We're talking about earlier on with allergic reactions, and there have been reported cases of that where dogs have done various things, tummy upsets and blah, blah, blah. I haven't had any in our clinic at all, but there have been reported cases. But generally, super, super safe medication.
Always lovely to see you. You'll be back next week with Jade, so thank you for that. Any people want to come and see you and your great team with their furry friend and their loved one, they can do so at the Parade Norwood Veterinary Clinic, 27 The Parade in Norwood, 8363 5323. Highly recommend. Great to see you again.
Thank you.
Hope your footy team wins. 3:30. News next.
If you want to build a new home, something that reflects you and your lifestyle, then you really need to speak with Beechwood Homes. And just so you know, they won't try and sell you a house plan. In fact, there's no house plans until you tell them what you want. So go for it. Start thinking of all the possibilities or get in touch with Beechwood Homes for a few thought starters. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home. Google Beechwood Adelaide.
You want to shut out the wind and rain in winter, or the sun, flies and mozzies in summer, but you don't want to sacrifice your view? Then you need Phantom Screens. For protection from sun, wind and rain all year round, Phantom's SA-made outdoor motorised blinds can span up to 12 metres wide. They offer effortless automation, a blind that's there 1 minute and gone the next. From the hills to the coast and everywhere in between, choose Phantom Screens. Get inspired online at phantomscreens.com.au.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Kamarek. From today, anyone over 30 is eligible to receive a fourth dose of a COVID vaccine. Lifting productivity is the aim of a Jobs and Skills Summit to be hosted by the federal government in September. A new study has found a link between sprinkling salt on our meals and a premature death. And Australia Post is unveiling 2 postage stamps to commemorate 100 years of the Socceroos. Showers increasing this afternoon. Currently it's 10 degrees. More news at 4 o'clock and as it happens on 5AA.
I can't believe I'm saying this. Buy urban bathrooms and kitchens may not be for everyone. Oh, look, if you're happy with a flat-pack kitchen, things not lining up and not looking like you thought it might, that's okay. And if millimetre-perfect craftsmanship and service of the highest standard is not your thing, that's okay too. But if it is, buyurban.com.au, Adelaide's home renovation experts.
You know us for our bright blue vans. Metropolitan Plumbing, Electrical and Air Conditioning. We are the proud winners of the Product Review Award for Plumbing in Australia for 2020 and 21. Did you know we offer $0 deposit interest-free payment plans, have no extra charge for after hours and can also often be at your door within the hour? Metropolitan Plumbing, Electrical and Air Conditioning. Available 24/7.
Electricity bill!
Bills shouldn't be scary. EcoVantage have supplied energy efficiency in homes for over 15 years. They can install hot water systems that use up to 80% less electricity than regular hot water systems. Help the environment while you save hundreds. And thanks to federal and SA government incentives, you could get your energy efficient hot water system supplied and installed for as little as no cost to you. Stop scary hot water bills with ecovantage.com.au.
When a loved one passes, Centennial Park cares like no one else. With stunning spaces for funeral and memorial services and a crematorium on site surrounded by gardens, everything can be taken care of at Centennial Park. Our beautiful foothills location provides a space of natural beauty for connecting with family and friends. Cremations at Centennial Park includes a complimentary initial memorial to give loved ones time to pay their respects. Choose cremations with dignity and care at Centennial Park.
Leith Forest, talking Adelaide on 1395 5AA.
26 minutes to 4. We have 4 tickets to give away to experience Archie 100. It is a centenary of the Archibald Prize. If you want to see amazing artwork, as well as Robert Wilson's moving portraits, these are video artworks, if you like. They're on at the Art Gallery of South Australia. First caller through right now. You'll impress your friends and your family. 4 tickets, 8223 0055. Go to it. And while we're speaking of art, that's very exciting at the Art Gallery. So too is the 2022 SALA program, which is on the streets from today. It's the 25th year of SALA, which is incredible. The CEO, Kate Moskwa, is here. Kate, lovely to see you. It's rolled around again.
I know.
How fast has it gone?
Well, it doesn't take long to, you spend a whole year working on the festival and then all of a sudden it's here and now the programs are out, so it's really exciting.
People can pick up their copy from their neighbourhood throughout the Foodland supermarkets. You can find out everything that's online as well. I ask you this every year, and we've spoken for years on this. You need, 3 things to be a part of SALA? You need to be South Australian, you need to be an artist, and you need to be alive.
You need to be alive.
If you tick those 3 boxes, this is for you.
That's right. As an open access festival, it is open to anyone who is a visual artist living in South Australia at the time. So, yes, that's right. That is the checklist.
How good is that? I tick all the 3 boxes. I can be part of SALA. 25 years.
Yeah, so the festival has grown a lot in the last 25 years, and we have a record number of artists participating this year. So we have nearly 12,000 artists across the state. So it's an amazing milestone to reach, and we're celebrating it this year by having a new SALA hub, which will be based in the historic Queen's Theatre.
Nice, just here in the city.
Yeah, just here in the city. So we're going to have a big exhibition there called Silver, which is sort of commemorates our 25 years. But we're also having other fun come and try activities like workshops in ceramics and silver and drawing and photography. We've got a drawing marathon for anyone who's game to give it a go for 5 days worth of drawing.
Oh, my Lord. So you just keep going until you pass out?
Essentially, yeah. That's
wow. Who's the Halle Gebrselassie of like marathon drawing? Is there someone to beat?
Well, it's not so much a competition with others as, I suppose, with yourself.
Yeah. I'm always envious every time I speak to you about SALA. I'm envious of people with talent. I wish I don't have that gene. I don't know whether it's hereditary, it's nature, it's nurture. You talk about the amount of people. So you got 648 events, as you mentioned, 11 and a half, just under 12,000 people. 12,000 talented people to say, hey, look what I'm doing, perhaps in my spare time, perhaps not, perhaps sort of more commercially, or at least, they show their family and friends. But that's the beauty of SALA. For everyone who knows the work of someone, there's probably someone just tinkering away in their spare room who has now the courage to put it forward and say, hey, look at this. And then people are blown away by their talent.
Yeah, that's right. And it is, there's a diverse range of those 12,000 odd artists. I'm not calling them odd, but, some of them might be. No, it really ranges from people who are practicing professional artists who that is their full-time job, that is their life pursuit, and they might be exhibiting in galleries across the world, to people who are hobby artists who might be, working away. They've got another full-time job and they might be doing something, in the shed in their spare time, down to students at schools. So, we have lots of schools. We have over 50 schools participating this year, and they might have an exhibition in the school, or they might be at their local cafe or some other local business. And so it encompasses artists at all levels of experience and all ends of the spectrum.
You've been involved in a long time, do you ever just sit back and go, how? I remember I answered this question once. Somebody asked me, they said, what is art? Which everyone, gets asked. And I said, to me, art is something that I can't do. So when I see a painting with a blue line down the middle, I don't consider that art because I think I can do that. But if I look at ceramics and I look at sculptures and I look at some of the paintings and I look at the other works, you think, that is real art to me. But that's the beauty of a festival like this, is you go and decide for yourself what you like, what you don't like.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is a big question that, we won't try and address in a small amount of time, but it could be your definition of art, and someone else's might be that art is a way of communicating with another person.
Yep.
So that blue line down the page could be saying something that someone else is taking up and understanding in their own way.
And the beauty of the SALA Festival too is that there is something for everyone, and you don't just have to go to the one location, do you? That's the beauty, is you take it everywhere.
Yeah, that's right. And, you can incorporate it into little visits throughout August if you want to do a little regional trip. There's exhibitions across the entire state. We have projections going on around the state as part of a big project by Illuminart.
Yep.
We've got, things in local libraries and cafes or wineries. The wine regions are big SALA participants. So you can grab a program and say, McLaren Vale this weekend or Barossa next weekend, and get a couple of friends who might like to do the same and make your own little trail. And we do have some suggested trails on our website that you can follow as well.
Not just in the city either, like you take it out to Peary and to KI and around the regions too.
Absolutely, everywhere. Yeah, that's right. And there are large concentrations in the CBD and in metropolitan areas, but yeah, you can make it a bit of a road trip and pick a region that you either love or that you've never been to, and use the SALA locations as ways to map your journey for that.
Research shows too, not just aesthetically pleasing art, but it's actually good for you. Like, it's the health benefits of being an artist, but also someone who engages in art. And we've found that out with hospitals and with nursing homes. And when art is added to those areas, it does the doctors and the scientists will tell you it does things for people.
It does. Positive. Yeah, it is. It's proven. And we have a long relationship with Flinders Medical Centre. They have an Arts in Health program, and we have an artist in residence every year through that program. And they make work in residence at the hospital. So sometimes it's with inpatients or with staff, and then they exhibit the work in the hospital as well. And so it's a great way for, people to have incidental art experiences, which I think is a lot of what SALA is about. Is you don't have to go into a gallery to see work. You can walk down the street, grab your coffee in the morning. You could be, in a hospital stay and still get to a SALA exhibition.
So the SALA exhibition or the festival is on from the 1st until the 31st of August. People can find out all the details at salafestival.com. There's an app that people can download.
There's an app. You can download the SALA app, and it's great because you can actually use the Exhibitions Near Me feature. So you could be anywhere, you could be lost on the street, and you pop yourself on the map and it'll show you how to get to your closest SALA exhibition, which is nifty.
I don't want you to isolate yourself from the group here, but let me go with this question. Have you got a favourite kind of art? Is there something that you love more than... Because I'm like an art novice. I appreciate art, and I've seen things luckily through travel. So I saw the statue of David. And I was blown away. And I never thought I would say that, but I was literally mesmerised by this piece of art going, how on earth? And I was intricately sort of examining everything from the feet to the hands to, it's flawless. I don't understand how that is the case. And yet I saw the Mona Lisa on my honeymoon, and it was kind of like, okay, it's nice, but it's small, I don't know what I expected, but that's the beauty, I guess, of art, that people will be attracted to different forms.
Yeah, and I suppose with an artwork so famous, you're used to seeing it in books and on screens and things, so you've always got high expectations perhaps. But no, I don't have a particular type of art. I love contemporary art, which is very broad, and I'll get away with saying that. But no, contemporary art that makes you think.
Yeah. See, I don't think enough. This is my problem. I look at it and go, should I be understanding? I was talking to Tammy about this earlier, about sort of away from SALA, just, like interpretive dance. I can't interpret. I need it. I love, and this is, I love portraits because I go, and I love the portraits that look like photos. Now, other people will say, well, just have a photo then. Whereas I just think, man, look at the work of that artist to get it so perfect. But then on the flip side, and we've seen with, like the Monet exhibitions and various artists and stuff, that in itself is kind of captivating too.
Yeah, different ways of appreciating, and certainly someone who can create something that's photorealist, that's an incredible skill. And you can appreciate that, but also maybe a slightly different interpretation that is, quite abstract might make, see something different in the subject of that maybe you wouldn't see if it was only a photo.
And you can speak to the masses who are listening now, who might be in the category that I was. I'm a country boy, meat and two veg. I was never interested in art growing up. But as you open yourself up to things and have a look at things, you do find this appreciation. As I said, I stared at that statue for 2 hours, I reckon. Wow. And people were just sitting there like, I don't know, people were taking notes, it was just something to behold. And I'd never really felt that way, I must admit, about a piece of art before, but I went, wow, that's kind of impressive. Yeah. No wonder people travel to see it.
Absolutely, and the more you know, the more you want to know, I think. We've got a tour that's called Understanding Contemporary Art. So that might be the tour for you, Leith.
I like the street art too. I think Adelaide's become more and more... There's a Freddie Mercury mural that a lot of people don't know about in the square just down here on Pulteney Street. Just walk through the city and look at little bits and pieces. They're popping up everywhere.
Yeah, well, there's a street art tour as well, so you can learn about new murals that you don't know of.
Always lovely to see you. Thank you again for coming in. So the 25th anniversary of SALA, out now, Foodland.
Foodland, get the program, any of the participating venues, so you can have a look online. The full program's online, and you can see all the venues there. If you want to pick up a hard copy, then they'll be in Foodlands and at those venues, and there's a street distribution as well.
salafestival.com, download the app, and just immerse yourself. Get a bit of culture in your life. Lovely to see you, Kate. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks, Lee.
Kate Moskwa from SALA. We'll take a break. It's 4:45.
Join star players from the Power each week on Rowey's Sports Show. Thanks to One Solution. Protect and improve your business with One Solution. Winner of the National Telstra Enterprise Customer Excellence Award.
Hello, geeks to you.
Yes, hello.
My printer has turned into a shredder.
Okay, let's fix it.
Oh, thanks.
Tech problems? For remote or on-site help, go to geeks2u.com.au or 1300 geeks to you.
It may not be that exciting to learn that Playford Pavers are one of the few companies that still make their own pavers on site. Riveting, isn't it? But what if I told you that because Playford Pavers make their own pavers for driveways, entertaining areas and pathways, you pay a lot less? How good is that? Pay less at Playford Pavers. Visit playfordpavers.com.au.
Well, forgive me because I'm about to attempt some naringery. Now, here goes. You can turn your coolie, lend me your plombies and Kunan to this. Now, that means head, ears and listen, because the Monado Safari Park has exciting school holiday activities which celebrates the language of the traditional custodians of the land on which the park sits. You can visit animals like chimpanzees, giraffes, lions, meerkats and rhinos, and you can practice the Naringery language. Plus, check out the new cafe, beautiful views of the park. There is a spacious new shop and a play area. Lion cubs, a new baby giraffe and the cheetah cubs out exploring. You will want to take a good nanook with your own peelies. Go to monatosafari.com.au. Apologies if any of that's wrong. Explore the biggest safari park outside of Africa. It's Monato Safari Park.
People receiving aged care services can rely on the Charter of Aged Care Rights. This includes the right to safe and high-quality service, to have your identity, culture and diversity valued and supported, to make your own choices, to live without abuse and neglect, and to make a complaint if you are concerned about the standard of your care. Know your rights. Contact the Aged Rights Advocacy Service, or ARAS, supporting the rights of older people. Google ARAS. ARAS is funded by the Australian Government.
Hi, Alan Lark from Mannix Air. If you want real warmth throughout your whole home, nothing beats Bonaire ducted gas heating for fast and economical heating. And our best deals are on right now. With natural gas rebates, a prepaid MasterCard, plus cash buy discounts, you'll save up to $1,000. That's right, save up to $1,000 on ducted gas heating for your home. Conditions apply. Remember, nobody beats Mannix. Call 1300 Mannix or go online anytime.
Building amazing homes is important to Beechwood Homes, and so is the environment. So when you build with Beechwood, you're building a better environment for our kids and grandkids. Here's why. Around 70% of scrap materials from every Beechwood home is recycled. Bricks, rubble, timber, gyprock and steel, none of it goes to landfill. It's all sorted and recycled. So life really is good. It's even better in a Beechwood home. Google Beechwood Adelaide today for a better future for all of us.
Hi, I'm Lane Beachley for Cartridges for Planet Ark. You don't get to be a champion without dedication and perseverance. And it's the same with recycling. Join me as we celebrate recycling over 50 million printer cartridges. That's enough to cover 5,500 kilometres end to end, a distance wider than Australia. All that with a zero waste to landfill guarantee. So find out how your small actions make a huge impact at Cartridges for Planet Ark.
$13.95, Adelaide's FIVEAA. This is Leith Forest.
11 minutes to 4. Here's a sight for sore eyes. Stephen Rowe returns. FIVEAA Sports Show from 4 o'clock. Welcome home.
Yeah, good holidays. Welcome, Leith. Thanks for holding the fort. Yeah, got bumped off our flight. Only just walked in the door. Thank you, Virgin. Care factor's nil. They don't care. We were frequent flyers, so I have a theory. If you booked ages ago and it was a $59 flight or a cheap flight, your first bump, next is frequent flyer, they just don't care. And it is pandemonium over in Melbourne.
So we went to Melbourne last week. We got there at 4:30. Our 6 o'clock got canned by Qantas. We were offered an 11 o'clock, which is a little late, so we went via Sydney. So again, hour and a half. We got to Melbourne about midday, so in the end, an 8-hour travel. So we may as well have driven.
That was worse than me.
That was the worst. But no, Jodie Oddie, who works downstairs at Nova, she took the cake. Listen to this. She went with her kids to the Gold Coast. She went Adelaide to Hobart, Hobart to Melbourne, Melbourne to the Gold Coast. 20 boarding passes, 14 hours, and 327 questions from the kids. And that was also on Virgin. So if you are going away these holidays, patience.
Plan ahead
is the key.
Because you will be bumped. Hey, Nick Kyrgios lost Wimbledon.
Yeah.
I sat up and watched. I can't warm to him, and it's un-Australian, Leith.
Well, KG and I played a game earlier called Cool or Tool, and overwhelmingly people thought he was a tool. I like him. I understand why he has toolish behaviour, but
My Jodie has gratitude, very forgiving. Even she couldn't. She fell asleep. We got Wally Masur to talk about that. Bix talks about the Crows. It's not a disaster, but it is heading that way. We got GM of footy, Adam Kelly, on. Apparently 5AA after the call. Teed off, 1 out, 9 back, just went bunter.
Well,
patience is wearing thin.
Yes.
Frustration is turning to anger.
Yep.
What in God's name will they do? Well, we'll speak to him about that. And Cornsey after 5, we love it with Cornsey. He's normally Tuesday. He's flipped with Timmy G and Port's Luke Kelly. Big show. Love your calls. Get interactive. We're back, you little you. Did that sound like Kenneth George?
It sounded very much like...
Is he better, Kenneth George? I heard him back on Sunday.
Yeah, he's much better. So he had the vid. He was out of action for a week. But
God love him.
Yeah, no, we got him a couple of Golden North ice creams and got him some,
I flicked him a few reds.
Correct. And he's back and better than ever. Hey, it doesn't get easier for the Crows too. The Pies at home. Port Adelaide got to keep winning, and they've got Melbourne away in Alice. So
6 games left. They win 4. They're in. It's going to come down to what?
Yes.
Showdown round
last round.
23.
Can't wait. Welcome back.
Mate.
Go have a shower. We look forward to hearing you. No, not at all. Not at all. 9 to 4. Stephen Rowe coming up with Rowey Sports Show from 4 o'clock alongside Sam Tugwell. Hey, so here's some great news. We know that COVID affected so many things. So many things were cancelled, postponed. All of your favourites are coming back, and yes, COVID hasn't finished, but events are back, which is great. The City to Bay Fun Run is back, and they are forging a new path after getting hammered for the last couple of weeks. Event manager for the City to Bay, Andrew Holman. Andrew, good afternoon.
G'day, Leith. How are you?
I'm well. You're back. How exciting is that?
Look, we are back, and we couldn't be more excited. We've got a lot of new initiatives, and we just can't wait until September 18 for the state to be out there again.
Which they will in their thousands, because everyone has missed it. Before we talk about that and the changes that we can expect there, we've been running this route for the best part of 50 years. You're going to hold a satellite event for the first time.
Look, yeah, I think that's a really, really great initiative. I mean, we have a lot of people coming down from the country to participate in the city to Bay, but we know that there's a lot of areas that can't get down here, and we're sort of keen to take a form of the event up into some of our more remote areas. And our naming rights partner Lumery is very heavy into the inclusion space, and we just think it's going to be a great thing to just go to one of the remote communities and run an event up there.
Well done. How good is that for the communities that may not be able to get into the city for this, Andrew? They can actually take part in themselves and have all the joy and excitement and pride that people have running the City to Bay.
Definitely. First off, it will be one community where we're in talks at the moment with a couple of options, and we're certainly having a look. It will probably be a northern community at this stage. And we just think it's going to be tremendous. When you see some of the kids out there and the families and see the expression on their faces, getting a medal, having a bit of a run, we'll take some coaches up there as well to give them a bit of some coaching sessions, all culminating in perhaps at this stage maybe only a 3-kilometre event, but it'll be just great for the local communities who miss out on so much, but are just such an important part of the fabric of this state.
Well done. I know during NAIDOC week last week there were a couple of announcements too. We know that the City Bay, you'll get tens of thousands of people. Yeah. They all love it. It's such an iconic event here. You've got some changes for people too?
Yeah, look, very much so. Our starting line is we're really going to rev that up this year. We're really concentrating on the starting line experience. There's going to be a lot of music. It's going to have a really great festival atmosphere. We're going to be having a traditional smoking ceremony at the start. Just remember that there are a lot of people that actually come from interstate because it's part of the Australian Road Racing Championships as well. So we do have quite a number of elite people coming over, and we just think that it's going to be great to sort of mark that with a really great atmosphere. There's going to leave people that didn't do it. Wish they did do it, and definitely be back for the years that follow.
Andrew, the thing I love too, you're installing some Ghana place names along the route to Glenelg as well. So this is great. It's recognition and education all in one.
Yeah, look, I think that's really important. There's so many people now that are really seriously and sincerely embracing, cultural heritage of the first Australians. I mean, we know that, we've got the River Torrens, for example, known as the Karawira Parry, more traditionally in Ghana language. And I think it's the right thing to do. I mean, look, it's the River Torrens that, named after Mr. Torrens, no doubt, who also has Mount Torrens, Torrens Hill, Torrens Road, Torrens Island, River Torrens, Torrens Title named after him. Surely we can go back.
There's enough Torrens in this city. That's right. You've not got to.
In the same, we've reverted back to more a traditional Padawalanga, recognition down there. I mean, a bit of research shows that was actually originally called the Thames. The Padawalanga was called the Thames in early European history.
Wow.
So we're going to recognise, the Ghana the Ghana. Languages, as on that 12k route down from the city to the bay.
Excellent. It is great to have you back, Andrew. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon and continued success. As I say, it's a favourite, it's a staple of the calendar, and it's great to have you back.
Yeah, we're just so glad to be back.
Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate your time.
Okay.
Event manager for the City to Bay, Andrew Holman, my guest. So you can run 3Ks, 6Ks, 12Ks, the half marathon, September 18, the Lumery City to Bay Fun Run. You can also run a half marathon in there too. Entrants can sign up. You can raise money for charities, part of their participation. I know Little Heroes do that each and every run, which is great. Registrations are now open. There's free training sessions too, held weekly at different locations. If you want to find out all the details, city-bay.org.au is the website address. Thanks for your company. Stay tuned. Rowey's back. The Sports Show next. I'll see you tomorrow.
Join 5AA each night from midnight for Australia Overnight.
Hi, it's Tony Moclair here, host of Australia Overnight. Thrilled and delighted, joined by listeners from 5AA, Adelaide's best radio station.
Tony Moclair takes your calls right through the early hours.
And those listeners contributing to the Australia Overnight program and being part of the larger family.
Catch Australia Overnight.
Welcome aboard 5AA.
Live from midnight on Adelaide's 5AA.